Really excited for today. I want to say I upped my presentation game this week, and I included a bit more multimedia to actually show some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. So hope it works. I think it will. But I realize a lot of my work, I use four very important tools. And I know a lot of people who are either not used to video or are thinking about video. It can be overwhelming. And so I wanted to just provide some easy, accessible how-tos and what I use in this sixth session of mine. I'm halfway to my year in Real Academy called Gear Up. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris Davis. This is a photo of my family. Last week, we went to Funtown, which is a small amusement park in Maine, and that's us on the log flume. I learned something very important about myself on this trip. For whatever reason, body chemistry, I cannot do rides anymore. Like I was literally like Funtown hunged over for about 48 hours. But trying to be a good father, I jumped on a lot with my daughter and just held it in. And I don't know if that's because I don't do them anymore, but I like to be pretty fit and active, but those rides. So anyone else finding that issue, or is it something where you need to continue all throughout life? Nicole, thank you. All right. You're with me on that. I got to find a blog post about that and figure out why I can't handle it. Like I have a pretty good stomach, but the sea dragon that goes up and down, never again, folks. So I'm going to stick to real estate. I live and work in Falmouth, Maine. That's right outside our largest city in Maine, which is Portland. I'm a union actor. I like to say I'm retired for now until I'm 50. I'm a runner, I'm a swimmer, and I'm an uphill skier. I do host on a local TV show called Maine Life Media, which you can check out on YouTube. I run a team called Places in Maine. I've sold some homes. I'm going to have my 5th year anniversary being licensed in December. And I'm currently obsessed with tennis, which typically happens every time this year, right after the US Open. So if any other tennis players are out there watching and want to play in San Diego next month, do let me know. Enough about me. This is what I want to talk about today. We just did our welcome. Kind of want to see if anyone wants to chat briefly about just the market where you're at. I always find it very valuable to hear from my other real agents throughout North America, kind of what they're experiencing, because I know we all kind of see national trends, yet we all experience a lot of different things in our local markets. We're going to talk about why you should use some gear in your video, and then I'm going to go specifically over the gimbal, lighting, miking, and then the app I use to edit my videos. So Randy and Nicole, I'm going to pick on you because I know Colleen is on the bike and also is in my market. But for those who might be watching this later when it's recorded or on live stream on Facebook, we've passed Labor Day. We've entered the fall. Christmas is 4 months away. Randy, what are you guys seeing in Utah right now?
Yeah, I mean, inventory's low. I think, with most places, those interest rates are killer. But there has been a little bit of inventory coming to the market here recently. I think people are just a little bit coming to terms with the fact that pain is the motivator, right? Like, oh, well, this house is a little too small. It's unfortunate that I have a 2% interest rate on this nice house, but we need an extra bedroom and there's no way to squeeze it in without moving. So I would say our days on market has ticked up just a little bit, but I mean 45 days on market is absolutely phenomenal in the sale of a house. When I first started, if you were selling a house in 90 days, you were doing a really good job. Yeah. So I think we're finally coming to terms with it takes a little bit more than a month to sell a house, and it is going to cost a little bit more to really get into a house that you want.
Absolutely. I love the phrase pain is the motivator. And I think if anytime someone is wondering what content I should put out today, you can always pick a pain point. And you can have a lot of fun with pain. I'll show you a listing I have right now that's been really quiet, high-priced luxury home. And I'm thinking a lot about what pain people might be having that then would make this house make so much sense for them. Because I think it's one of those houses where you really do have to think about it for maybe even a month before you might jump into it. But awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Nicole, if you'd like to get off mute, go for it. If not, that's okay too. You can just give me a thumbs up in the chat.
It's okay. I'm actually a pretty new agent, so I don't have any listings or anything yet, but I'm working on it. But I know I'm in Southern California, specifically Ventura County, California. So it is definitely slow. I have a few clients right now just looking for even rentals, and it's been a very hard time trying to find them even just a rental property, let alone something to buy. I think buyers are scared of the interest rates and not sure how the economy is going to go with political stuff and all that. So I think people are just a little bit scared right now.
Yeah.
So things are not really, going on the market, but also buyers are not really, amped up to like try to buy anything right now either.
Yeah. Yeah, it still feels like people, I think there was an adjustment when rates hit like 5 to 5.5. I felt like we were in this pause and people were like, had to see if it was real or not. And then of course it kept going up. And then I think people jumped back in this last one, particularly with, I hear noise that the Fed has 2 more meetings and there might be 2 rate hikes at the Fed level, which may or may not affect mortgages. But yeah, like I thought people would be used to it by now, but I think it's just making them a bit more maybe skittish or cautious. Or maybe, Randy, they're like assessing their pain tolerance and maybe they can handle more pain. I don't know. But Nicole, that's awesome. How long have you been licensed?
I've been licensed for almost 2 years, but I have a full-time job as well, so it's just makes it a little bit difficult to go all in, especially when you have a family and stuff to try to support at the same time. So
Absolutely.
I did one sale last year and it was my own. I bought a house. So
That's awesome. How'd it go?
yeah.
Was the client happy?
I think my husband was happy. It was so stressful because I was also the buyer and like, the buyer's agent, quote unquote. And my husband was just like, yeah, it went great. I'm like, you have no idea. What are you talking about? It was so stressful. He's like, not for me. It was good. I was like, sure.
I think it means you absolutely nailed it then. Good work.
Yeah, it was good. We're happy. It's our first purchase of a house. So we actually locked in right before the rates kind of spiked up. So we're still in like the 4% range. So it's pretty good. We're happy.
Good for you. That's great. Awesome. Well, good on you. Do you have a bird as well?
Yes, that's my son's cockatiel.
I love it. I love it. It makes me you're sitting at the beach and there's an incredible bird behind you. That's where my mind is going.
Yeah, I mean, it is sunny. I do have a view of a palm tree. So, I mean, I guess it works.
That's great. That is great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here, Nicole. It's great to meet you. And I look forward to hearing what you might take away. So just want to jump in. This whole series, Couch to Content, has been geared towards helping folks who are jumping into social media, who may need kind of a fire under their backside to get going on it. I really focus a lot of my content towards Instagram, but it can be put throughout all the platforms. My whole ethos is really built out of my training, being an actor and doing a lot of self-discovery, and ultimately coming to the huge conclusion that once I'm comfortable being me, I can then be any other character. And where I'm on my journey with video and with content and with marketing is continuing to feel comfortable being me, and being me will then attract the folks who want to work with me. So I don't try to be anything other than what I am. There are times you'll see in my content where I just have a spark of genius and I might be funny or I might be a different character, but it all essentially comes from who I'm at. So before we kind of jump into why we're thinking about adding more tools, literally tools that you might buy on Amazon, I always like to just make one thing clear. It's just do what works for you. And if it works, great, continue to do it. And the only reason to really change or adapt is if you have a new goal or you're not getting the results you need and you need to start incorporating something new into your marketing, into your lifestyle, into your family, whatever it might be. And I think that's really an important message because there's so much to learn, not just within Reel, but with all the content we consume. And it can often feel like I'm never doing enough. But we're not designed to do everything at once. It's just an incredible journey. And I think, and I hope that's why a lot of you are here, is one, to hear what I have to share, what your peers in this class have to share. And then from that, as Sharon always says, whenever he does a presentation to us, take what you learn and put it into action, measure it, see what works, and then build from there. So I just want you to be thinking about how you may update your process after this. What is going to help you grow, whether it's just having an accountability person for your content, whether it's following something new or someone new on Instagram, or if it's just writing in your calendar once a day to post or like or comment or DM. All of those steps might be valuable or might be the next step for you to take your game to the next level. Does that all sound good with everyone? Awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right. So show of hands, who owns an air fryer? Randy does.
Yes.
Nicole does. Okay, great. Great. Do you use your air fryer a lot? Colleen does. Colleen uses hers a lot. Randy, yeah, a little bit. Nicole, do you use it a lot?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I have 3 teenagers, so it definitely gets some use.
I bet. That's great. My relationship to an air fryer is we were renovating our house last year. We were living in an RV in our yard. Don't recommend it. And we went to the RV store. And of course, anytime you start something new and then you go to the store that is designed to sell you things, you convince yourself, we should get the small air fryer to put in the RV to make creative new meals. And I literally Googled, why do people buy air fryers? And I love this quote. If you love making fried food without also making a huge mess, and you have a decent amount of space in your kitchen, the answer is yes. If you're lukewarm on fried food or your kitchen is tiny, skip it for now. I think often people are like, gosh, do I need to put another thing in my bag or my purse or carry this other thing around like a wand or a lightsaber with my phone attached to it? When in its most simplest form, I always have my phone with me. Why can't I just use that? Ultimately, you can, but we are in a world where people make products that are designed to make the things we do taste better or become easier or more efficient. So in the world of the gimbal, if you love making video without also making shaky video and looking professional in the process, then you should buy one. If you're lukewarm on professional video or you own a production company, you don't need one. So this is something I try to carry around with me all the time, purely because when I have something, I tend to use it. It's like if you stick the golf clubs in the back of the garage behind all those bikes and ski gear, you're probably not going to play a lot of golf. So I stick my golf bags right in front of the door in the garage, so I walk by them every day. I view my marketing as an agent as just as important as anything else. And so when I have this tool, it really allows me to keep video top of mind. Does anyone else use them? I know Colleen just purchased one. Nicole, have you ever used one? Or John? John, thanks for being on here.
Hey, no problem. I just got out of my W-2 in the car now. No, but I was really thinking about getting one. I like them. I was walking through a house the other day showing it. It didn't come out bad, but I know it would be better if I had a gimbal.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for coming in. It took me a while to buy into it as well. But it's one of those things when you have it and you walk around, people think you're serious. People think you're more professional. So whether that's showing a client, whether that's walking in, the listing agent sees you, or you're walking around town doing a local spotlight video, the more polished you look, maybe someone's then going to say, hey, what is that? And then maybe you're going to strike a conversation with someone new. So in a way, it's like, it's just the modern day sidearm. If you're out west in the 1600s, people are like, what is that? And it's like, yo, this is a gimbal. It's one of the coolest tools I own. Mine's rechargeable. I'll have a link later on which one I use. But last week I was at my current listing that I'm working so hard to sell. And I had my teammate, Alex, film a progression of 3 scenes as if it was a listing tour, once just holding my phone and once holding the gimbal. And I will say it is subtle, but I wanted to get your reactions and maybe we can just chat through, and I'll obviously talk about some things I had prepared. And if you're driving, just be careful. So I put together this little video and you will see.
Welcome to 13 Streamwood. Let's take a look inside.
Can you hear it?
It's a little choppy. I don't know if it's you or me. Should we be hearing it?
There is music. The music is not important. You're not getting the music? All right. I'll send it to you later. No, I did put it to music. It wasn't as relevant as just seeing essentially the same scene, one with and one without a gimbal. Just curious, could you notice a difference?
In the moving from room to room, it felt like it was slightly clearer. But that could have just been like a bias knowing which video was which.
Yeah.
It looked like when the first one you started out was a little choppy. I don't know if that was the gimbal or not, or the one without the gimbal.
Yeah, the first one was just handheld.
Yeah.
I will say my partner has extremely balanced hands. I was like, bro, mix it up a little. But yeah, some things I noticed with no gimbal, honestly, it works fine. It does the trick. It did feel a little shaky. The one thing I do notice is when you hold your phone and you're filming someone else, I don't know about you, but I usually hold my phone kind of like right at my sternum. The gimbal, because I think we always hold our hands like out like this, then elevates the phone another 10 inches up. And I found, at least in that video, I find it much more.
Welcome to 13.
I find it, I'll just try to like give you an example of scale with me. That's without the gimbal. Oh no, sorry. Let's see if I can.
Take a look inside.
That's no gimbal. And then once we get to here, in this case, the position of the phone was just that much higher, which I think for a house like this that has a 3-story wall of windows, it just really allowed for everything to feel big and more grand. Which kind of makes sense. Well, then you could say, well, I could just hold my phone up higher, and it's like, totally, it's just way more comfortable with a gimbal. And then the one thing I really liked is you can't really speed a gimbal to turn because it's like gyroscope to stay balanced. So it just adds kind of a slow melodic movement to everything, which to me as a viewer, I think builds a little mystique. I think it builds intrigue, and it just like allows you to be like, what is that? Oh my gosh. And I think you can like really lean into that. And I think you can have a lot more fun with it.
I always wish I would have had one of those when I take the boys skiing or tubing on the back of a boat. I'm
Oh,
like,
totally.
I need a gimbal or something like that, because I'm always like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I
that
mean,
would be ideal.
especially like skiing, like you can actually still
Yeah.
have a mitten on and hold the gimbal.
Right. Question for you, as long as we're on this topic, like I shot that video that I was talking about, but I
Yeah.
didn't do anything with it because I'm having problems editing it. You use CapCut, or what do you use to like edit your videos?
Yeah. I use CapCut, and I have at the end of this presentation, I built like just show you how I do it real quick. But yeah, I use CapCut for everything.
Okay.
And so yeah, well, that's my fourth piece of gear. Sam, thanks for showing up as well. This is great, guys. So the story for me with a gimbal is I always put it in my work bag, because like a little tiny assistant, it always looks at me and says, Chris, make more content. And if that's the only reason I have it, well, that's the best $100 I've ever spent. But then, if you want to FaceTime or do anything and actually just put the phone down, I even use it for my kids if they're going to watch a show, so they don't have to fight over who holds the phone. If you're skiing or tubing, it provides you just a more clear picture and more professional look that your audience and your clients are going to love to see. So highly recommend it. I'll have a link to the one I use coming up at the end, but to me, that is like an invaluable piece of equipment. Any questions about the gimbal?
Yeah, sorry for being late. I was actually shooting real estate content, but I need to do more editing to it. But no questions. Wait, gimbal. Well, actually, yeah, I do have a question. What is gimbal? I mean, like, is that an app or something that reminds you to make content?
No, it's if you can see my screen, it's just this, it's literally this handheld tool. The phone goes on it, and then the phone acclimates to always staying balanced. It's got a little tripod.
Oh, did you get that on Amazon?
Yeah, actually, I don't know, but I will link it to Amazon after, so you can get it.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's super easy. Sam, where are you out of?
I am out of Northern California, like San Francisco, Stockton.
Nice.
Yeah, Bay Area, Central Valley. Yep.
Sweet. And John, where are you again? I know
I'm right outside Chicago.
That's right. Awesome.
Yep.
You live in that huge neighborhood of a bunch of all the similar homes.
All that good stuff. Yep.
Did you hang out
Actually
all Sunday at the end of your driveway?
I did. Actually, I lived in Chicago. I didn't have a driveway, so we always hold on my front porch.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thanks.
I'm about 30 miles west. I'm by Naperville, which is about 30 miles west of Chicago now.
Yeah.
It's suburbia.
Right on. Sweet. I love how many people are like doing video today. That's great. Lighting. To me, lighting is so important to video. I was just going to use the easy example of this is me in light, and this is me out of light. I have a ring light that I bought at Staples. That's quite large. I'm just going to flip around so you can see it. It's 18 inches. I do have some backup light there that I just leave in the office. Lighting, you're not going to shoot a listing video on a dark, cloudy day where they can't see your face unless the house has really great light. But I've just noticed since adding that into my like direct to camera social media videos, whether I'm giving a market update, whether I'm talking about what I did that day or promoting a property, people tend to respond a lot more when you're well lit. It tells the audience where to look, to be honest. As you can see, my face is glossy. I could wear makeup, but it draws your attention right in. Like Randy, you've got some awesome light on the right side of your face, maybe some sun, getting some vitamin D. But easy to incorporate, often overlooked. They do make little things you can stick on your phone If I'm in an office or at home, I always have my ring light with me, and it plugs right in. You know, if you study film or watch a lot of film, they say it reflects the psychology of the characters, how the director wants to light the scene. And it's the tool that conveys the mood most clearly. So I took these screenshots. You might know some of these people, but Ray Ellen is the one on the top with the beard and the bald head. His setup, I think, is just one of the best in his office. And if you hear his voice, it's like incredibly smooth. And I think his backlighting of that blue wash and then bright on his face, to me, he always appears just super relaxed and in the know, and that he really cares about his work environment and how he's displayed. KC, the guy on the right, K-Mac is the logo in the back. He's our buddy out of Texas. These guys are both real agents. He's got a big bright logo behind him, well lit in the front. He's intense, he's fiery, he delivers. These are just two great examples, I think, of how they're using front light and they're also lighting the back of their space. It's definitely a huge trend, right? Like, how much do we put behind us to then show how good we are at the media? And then I pulled two examples from my YouTube page. These are two older videos on my YouTube page, but the bottom left, me in the suit, that was hired with a photographer that was lit. The one on the right was me doing a direct to my phone, teaching a new buyer the 5 elements of our offer. And I think just off the top, like, me well lit in a suit, looks professional, looks like a thought leader. The one on the right serves its purpose because I usually send it as like a video message in a text thread. But two very different avenues. One, I'm trying to appeal to everyone who might not know me and gain instant trust. The other one, I'm kind of just looking like, hey, I just showed up. I want you to know this information, not in your face. So good things to think about, which channel you're putting it out on, even if you're just sending a video DM to a client or a prospect. Anyone else have any reactions or different feelings about any of these photos? And I can take any criticism, so don't feel you have to hold back at all. But
Can I ask a question?
yeah, please.
Okay, so the content that I'm trying to work on right now is top 3 neighborhoods in Stockton.
Sweet.
So my idea is maybe like once I start talking about a neighborhood, I'll put like a picture of the map and highlight the section highlight the section, the area that it's in, you know, on the map.
Yeah.
And then just go from there. And then what should I wear? Should I just, you know, just keep the casual shirt on, or should I look more professional in my videos?
That's a great question. I'd say one thing that I've really been exposed to at Real is that people really wear their vibe. You know, there was a time where 3 years ago where I pretty much wore a suit and tie every day because I thought that's what I needed in order to break into a certain market. It also makes me feel really good. So when I'm dressed up like that, I love how I feel. Ray Allen, I think, always wears a work hard, be kind t-shirt. Like, that's his brand. Then people start to recognize that. So, you know, I really think it's up to you, Sam, and like what you feel will vibe well with your audience. And what's great about that video is you can shoot that 16 different times in 16 different outfits, and you could let YouTube decide which outfit is best.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got it now.
Yeah.
Your vibe is your tribe, Sam.
There you go. It's a great question. I think if you're going to Rise in San Diego in October, it's a great opportunity. Like, from Tamir to Sharon to Pratesh to all the different agents, like, everyone has a different vibe. Everyone has a different look. There's no one look that I think is right, but it's one that connects you with the people that you want to attract. Awesome. Microphone. I feel like a huge trend over the last 2 years has been to like hold the lav so they know you're using a microphone. I think it's cute. I think it gets in the way. I use this little furry thing. It's just a windscreen over a Rode mic, which is this big, and it plugs right into the bottom of my phone like this. So if I'm doing a video, it doesn't pick up the microphone visually, but it just records a much clearer sound. I also use AirPods, although I've just lost every set 3 times over the last year. I put them down. I don't know. I have trouble with AirPods, though I love them. But it's also a look too, because it's a big white thing in your ear, but it captures really good audio. What's the point of making video if people can't hear you or understand you? So in a way, it's almost like the most important. iPhones do a great job without it. But if you're outside and there's a lot of wind, the more you can contain the collection of sound. It's always tough if you, I don't know, traveled an hour away to shoot some awesome video, and if you didn't get clear audio, it kind of just makes the whole video useless, and it's pretty frustrating. Once you collect that audio, make sure you caption your audio. Everyone reads, not a lot of people listen, so it's really important to have all the videos captioned, and they're very easy apps to do that. And then AirPods or Rode, RODE, is a pretty popular mic brand that I found. Anyone else have any other mics they like, or Team Lav or Team AirPod?
Hey, I got a suggestion for you. If you got AirPods, I don't have it right here, but I have AirPods and they have a case to it, and then they have like a hook that goes on your belt, and they sit like kind of right in the top of your pocket, so you can sit down. It's not like in your way. You don't even know what's on, but then it's, you take it off and put it right in there. And I wear them out for work all the time. It's, because I would lose them too. I'd be like, where the hell are they at?
Yeah,
And these work great.
that's what I need.
Yeah. I don't know if you can't see that, can you?
Yeah, no, I got it. That's great. Yeah. I mean, I even have them logged in my phone, and like my phone tells me they're one place and I just don't believe it. And then they die, right? I don't know. It's almost like I need to have something for working out, something for working, something for my car, because I always move them in between. But that's a great tip that works for you. Thank you for sharing that.
You got it.
That's awesome. Cool. Awesome, guys. All right, CapCut. So John, you had asked about this. CapCut is a free app you can download to edit your video. I'm on it every day. I can almost do it without looking at it now.
Ooh, we gotta talk.
Did that app?
You got it, Sam?
Yeah, I literally just downloaded it. Like, I haven't used it yet.
Cool. I find it to be, well, I've used it now for like 6 months. I find it to be pretty easy. There are a bunch of little kind of annoyances you need to figure out. I use the free version. So there are, like, if you're captioning and you pick a certain font that says Pro and you pick it and then you go to download the video, it'll make you upgrade before downloading. So then you have to go back, delete that one, find a new one. So there are some things you just want to pay attention to make sure you don't go like 3 steps and then have to start over.
Right.
But you probably find there are a couple of ways to, like for Instagram, you can just go right into the app and record your video and caption it through the 4 options Instagram has. I try to always remind myself to record the video on my camera on my phone, because then I have that raw file saved, and then I take that file into CapCut and then I modify. When you start it in Instagram, it comes out the way you had it, but you never get that file without the stickers or the mentions or the captions. So particularly if you're going to use that same video on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or LinkedIn, it's great not to have all the Instagram stuff baked into it. It just looks more organic that way. So yeah, you upload your video to CapCut. You add, this is my process. I add the captions. I then add a music track. I balance the audio. So if I'm talking, I bring the music track really low. I bump up my audio on my talking, and then I export it all out. that's in the simplest form. I did one last week that was pretty popular where I narrated through CapCut a whole sequence of videos that I shot and then back to live audio. CapCut makes it really easy to do that. One thing I do love about CapCut that I don't use a lot are all the templates that it has built into it. So if you have 20 photos from a listing, you can go in and do a photo dump and you can pick a template and it'll already be cut to music, add in all your photos, and then you have a pretty kind of flashy, polished piece of content that you didn't make any video for, but CapCut did it for you. All right, so I'm gonna start this video over, but I just did a screen record of my phone this afternoon to prep for this. You're not going to see probably, I guess, my fingers, what the buttons I hit, but I'm going to try to narrate it. But the home screen of CapCut, hit new project, it brings in your videos. I selected the one I wanted to edit. My Wi-Fi at the office is a little slow, so it takes a minute to load. There's the editing screen. The first thing I do is hit add captions. It's going to create the auto captions. Then I'm going to stylize the caption. So I click on the first one. And the first thing I did was change the font. And then I changed the size. Then I went and I changed the color of the font. And then I'm going to bump up the size here once I find the color I like. Ooh, I picked that one. That's beautiful. So you scroll down, you find the size. I always like bigger. Try to space it out so my head is in the top half, text is in the bottom. Now I'm going to add audio. I usually go into trending. I think this one I did happy. I cycle through one or two songs, try to find the one I like. I liked surf music. I didn't pick it. Happy and fun. That's what I did. So then you see the sound bar come in. I'm bringing that volume down to 34, going back up to the video clip, highlighting it, scrolling right to the volume, bumping the volume up on my talking.
Thank you so much for coming to my session.
I don't know. And then I'm exporting. And this is going to take a minute. Can you hear that? You can't hear the audio, or can you?
You mean?
No.
The music's low,
No,
but
yeah, the
your,
music's
your voice
very
was
low.
fine.
Okay, cool.
And that was the effect in the video. So I'm sure it was just like regular.
What it was supposed to be. That's so great. This was my live thank you video. You can see I made it at 11:36 a.m. If you don't know how to screen record on your iPhone, it's a phenomenal, very easy tool. And it's often great for like teaching other real agents how to do stuff in resin or on workplace, or even just your clients to show them an MLS sheet.
Thank you so much for coming to my session. If you enjoyed this or you learned something, please check out my website, check out my other videos on YouTube and Instagram. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's share the love. And I would love to do the same for you. You're building one reel. It's an incredible culture. And I'm incredibly grateful for your time.
That was great. Now, what are you calling that? That's a screen record?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you get to this screen on the iPhone and you just hit that circle button right there, and then it gives you a 3-second countdown. My screen's locked. And then it's going to record whatever you do on your screen. And then it has that red thing. You have to go into your settings and enable it. But then it just saves it as a video file. And it makes it a great way to, like, let's say you're reading an article about real estate. You could screen record that, put that up on your story, put a video in front of it. Like, you can have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's how those people are doing it. Now I know how they do that. They do the screen recording.
Yeah, they do the screen recording and then put their avatar right above it, respond to it. You can do that in CapCut too.
Oh, interesting. I'm about to do that.
You should do that. You should tag us all so we can watch it and give you a like and a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. All right. Chris Davis.
No, Chris Sells Maine.
Chris Sells Maine.
I'll put my profile up at the end of this here.
Don't worry, I got it. I'm about to look it up on IG. Oh yeah, do it for everyone else too.
Yeah. I just made a quick blog today on my website of the 4 things I talked about: the gimbal, the light ring. Randy is going to put that in the chat. Thank you, Randy. So you can click on that. I linked them to Amazon too. I'm not a promoter or a sponsor of Amazon, but I just find that's the easiest way to get things in my world. So feel free to check those out.
You are now.
I am now. They got me.
Looking at links in his
Gotcha.
TikTok shop.
Yeah. And I think the key is once you create one video, like really make sure you leverage that over all channels, because you don't know which audience is going to find you where. And if you're going to do that amazing effort of editing a video, adding captions, adding music, putting a light on your face, using a microphone, and then filming yourself, it's really important to get it out across all channels. So CapCut makes it really easy to 1 click to TikTok, 1 click to Instagram. You can add other as well. I usually then quickly just I click the YouTube app on my phone, upload a short, assuming it's a vertical short, as these have been in the examples. And then that way I know I've tried to push out my content as far as possible. Any questions on CapCut?
Hey, do they have I know you did a good job explaining things, but do they have like a tutorial section? I was looking for one. I didn't see it, just for any nuances that I have questions about. Do they have any type of tutorial?
I believe, I'm going to look real quick on my phone. There's an agent out of Georgia named Connie Carlson, who I think does a CapCut Basics 101.
I think you're right.
So that would be a great place to start. She is phenomenal. I've met her. I sat next to her on a plane. But that might be a great tutorial to start with too. And I know she'd be more than willing to answer any questions, as would I, about how to do stuff. One feature I love about CapCut is you can adjust the resolution at time of export. So I do a lot of video tours for out-of-state clients, and I might be on the road up the coast and I want to get them the links as soon as possible. So instead of exporting the video I took at 1080, I can export it at 480, which then allows me to add it into YouTube a lot faster because the file size is lower. So CapCut makes that export process really easy. And that's just one way I've found to be more efficient with my time when I need to get content out to clients.
Cool.
Sweet. This slide has been in from the beginning. I encourage everyone to do video warm-ups, just like I warm up for a tennis match, or you warm up for any physical activity or exercise or mental activity. Getting the body ready to be vulnerable and to fail takes work, and it makes it just a lot more fun. You got to warm up your mouth, your breath, your energy, your style. Sam picking out that outfit, feeling confident, feeling great about it. And then just making sure you budget the time to post. And once you start to incorporate these into your process, it's less about, oh, I got to make a video. Shoot, I don't know how to make a video. What do I make a video about? But it's like, all right, I got to prepare my body, my mind, my spirit. Then you're in it. Then you're committed. You're going to have a lot of less self-doubts and a lot of less barriers, I find, in front of you, because then you've kind of turned it more into a muscle, more of a sport, which I find our judgy filters can be less frequent with those.
And more fun.
And more fun. That's what it's here for. All right, Sam, that's my profile right there. Chris Sells Maine. Links to Reel, links to the TV show I work on. And I have a link tree with other videos as well. I always welcome folks to DM me for collaboration or ideas. I've met some really amazing people from Reel through this and providing this instruction and people following up. If you're not already doing it, try to get at least one video reel a week. I find reels are super fun to watch. They are really great to then put right over to YouTube or TikTok. And you can have a lot of fun with them. Keep your stories going as well. Make sure the reel gets shared onto your stories. Oftentimes people might not see it in the main feed, but they watch stories, and then that's a chance for them to dive into your reels. Feel free to DM me for any inspiration or any content blocks or roadblocks you might have. I love chatting through different ideas, ways you can differentiate or ways you can just ignite the inner content creator within you. And of course, I'm going to be back here in a month in October as we get a little bit closer to Rise. You guys think you can do those?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sweet. Sweet. Well, you're going to hold me accountable too. I'm going to do them as well.
So Chris, one more real quick question. So when you do a video like that, you put it right to the reel or to story or to both
I put it as a reel.
as a reel?
Click on the arrow button when the reel is up and share it to my story.
Are you guys going to Rise?
Yes.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna skip it.
You are
Oh.
not.
I'm
Bad boy.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
I'm thinking about selling my ticket for 2x I paid for it based on these people who need them.
Yeah. No,
Just
it's
kidding.
crazy how many people are popping out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
I had a quick question. So you said that you use CapCut for your video editing.
Yeah.
Grapevines have whispered that if you use software that's not Instagram based
Mhm.
or sponsored or what have you, right? Like TikTok is the CapCut pairing there.
Yeah.
That somehow the algorithm reels that in. Like obviously you use CapCut exclusively. Can
Yeah.
you speak to something like Mojo or something like that? Do you know someone who's using Mojo, making similar content, somehow experiencing some odd growth in comparison to you? Or
No, I can't. I was just looking at my reels to see if I could see any correlation between when I've CapCutted and when I've done organic creation within Instagram to see if like there's a spike. And I can't. I think my sense for my work is the most interesting content is what is driving my viewership. But then again, I never know what they're doing behind the scenes to either limit my viewers based on where I created it. CapCut automatically puts a watermark at the end of your video, so I always delete that before I export it. And I don't know if that helps to not promote it. But I feel like all things, when a new product comes out, a social media platform says, oh, that's cool, but we're gonna focus on our creators who are in our ecosystem. But then after a while, they want to favor what are keeping our eyes on the screen, no matter how that's made. But I could be wrong.
absolutely. No, I mean that's a great point. I wasn't certain because Mojo is a paid service that is linked to Instagram in a way. But who knows? Computers are taking over the world, so I'm sure they have a hand in it somewhere.
Yeah. Do you use Mojo?
I do not. No, I use CapCut when I do make my videos. So lazy boy over here, but I'm working on it.
When you make your next video today.
Absolutely. This afternoon it's mapped out.
Yeah, but great question. I think that's what I love about going to conferences, and we'll probably get it at Rise, is I always feel like I get an updated insider's look into the algo or like what we need to focus on or do. And that's next level stuff. Like I think consistency with content and engagement with your audience is first and foremost. And then as you need to expand, that listing video, you didn't see it, but I was at the house touring for that kind of gimbal presentation. Thank you guys for not butchering me and telling me how poor of an example that was, but I tried. I just started doing YouTube ads for my listing video in an effort to try to capture more out-of-state audience, in particular targeting the big cities of the Northeast to say, hey, here's a luxury home in a great community with a really good school system. So I'm excited to see, it's only been up for a day, kind of what that will do.
So being that we're in the Q&A, I know we have some new faces. I know John was here last time. I'm not sure if he made it 2 times ago, but let's say, I know that we have someone who's newer, as they called it, and then California realm. What would you say if we were to shoot a video today? We wanted to go out, shoot our first video. What kind of theme, or what would you suggest as starting for today? If we had no idea, we kind of had that analysis paralysis. What the heck am I going to do? I want a video right now. What should we shoot?
Awesome. I love that question. I immediately think about how can you really show who you are, which falls into like where you live and where you work. So instead of thinking, how can I look like I'm the most successful realtor, or how can I look like I sell the most homes? Like that's not what your people want to see. So I would encourage you to just look around, whether that's in the room you're in or whether that's outside in your neighborhood. It might be a simple video of, hey, I'm Chris Davis. Those of you may know, but those of you may not know, I'm a realtor. I'm working in Portland, Maine. And this is one of my like most favorite views down India Street because, and then I show, when I walk out of my office, I get to see a cruise ship or the ocean every day. And it just reminds me that there's always an opportunity to travel, which I love. And I'm using that quick shoot from the hip example because I think when you share like that, you give a sense to people of who you are and what you appreciate. There is some location meta going on right there where you're talking about a specific place that you are. So the bots know where you are, which I think is important. But it also isn't asking you to like spout off stats or, show off your car or do anything that I think we assume we need to do to get credibility. Because I always think too, like, what would someone respond to that video? They might say, oh my gosh, I live on India Street. That's so cool. You just made a connection. Or, wow, I was on that cruise ship last week. Portland was such a great city. And, not that we're trying to reverse engineer who can comment on this, but and sometimes when content is just so simple and authentic, people really enjoy just wondering what your day is like. Is that a direction at all? Or is that just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think we get caught up in the like, oh, everyone knows me. Whereas it's like, in high school, gosh, 20 years ago, no, not 20 years ago, but 10 years ago, I was in pursuit to go to med school or to grad school for chemistry. I have a degree in chemistry, but I sell real estate. So if someone hasn't like watched my content in 5 years, they're gonna have no idea what I'm doing. So, oh, he's in real estate. Oh my goodness. So I think that's great direction to take. Introduce yourself. Just because people theoretically are friends with you or follow you, don't necessarily mean they know you.
Exactly. And people are in and out of your following kind of ritual all the time. And how often you re-engage with someone and they're like, oh yeah, I now took up tennis, or I'm volunteering here now a lot. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. I was at a funeral on Friday for my wife's grandmother, and my wife has a cousin who lives in California. And we get to the funeral. I've never met him. And he just gives me the biggest hug. And he goes, bro, I feel like I know you more than my cousins at this funeral because I follow you. And like all the family members were like dying because they all know me and they know like what I do. And it's kind of a joke, but it's also like, that's my goal. My goal is so when you give me a hug, it just feels like we've been connected. So then when you think of real estate, hopefully you think of me. And so we have incredible opportunities to share, and I'm not going to say showcase because that's not what it's about. It's sharing what we do, what we love, where we live. And we don't have to do that with any type of polish. We just have to do it with a ring light, a gimbal, and a microphone.
All from Amazon.
All from Amazon.
Link in his bio.
Link in my bio. And then just cut it to the end.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Randy, that's a really, really great question. And I think a continual reminder to all of us to stop questioning what we should post and just think about what we can share that someone might want to hear.
Thank you.
Um,
I just had a quick question, or I don't know. So for like Instagram, like I have my personal Instagram and then I have like a business Instagram. Do you like recommend just having one or kind of keeping it separate?
I recommend having one because this is my philosophy. You, the agent, are the brand that people are hiring to chat with at 10 o'clock at night when they're wondering if they should still buy that house, when they're texting you at 6 a.m, dying to get into that new listing. And the more they know about you, Nicole, and who you are in your life and the brand, and that you have a cockatoo and that you have some kids, I think the better they can serve you. And then in return, the better you can serve them. An example I see thrown around a lot is Ryan Serhant, who's a mentor of mine. If you look at his Ryan Serhant page, it's about him traveling to Greece, where his wife is from. It's about all the incredible stuff he does, his team does. I don't know how many followers he has, like probably up to 250 million. But then you go to the Serhant business page for his company, his brokerage, not as much activity, but he still puts effort and money behind that because anyone searching what the company is needs to have a place. So I have like Chris Sells Maine as my be all end all. I'll have that for the rest of my life. And then for my team, I have places in Maine. Doesn't get as much action or attention as me promoting my brand, but at least it gives the internet a second place to look for my team name. But I think in this world, having your own and your realtor page can just be confusing. And to a lot of people, it's like, why are you separating it?
And to that
Because it's a
point,
pain. I
oh.
feel like I set up two because it was like recommended, oh, you should have, but it's such a pain to try to like remember to post on my business one,
Yeah.
post on my like regular, my personal one more regularly.
Yep. I agree with that. And anytime something becomes a pain, let's try to figure out a way to simplify it. There are specific details about like doing ads and sponsorship stuff. Like you need to have a business account on Instagram. So like that's technically what I have, but it's just my account. And that allows me to do sponsorship stuff or sponsored posts. But I don't have like Chris Davis, dad of 2 girls, husband of Molly, and real estate. It's just all melds into one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you another question on that same topic. In regards to, I have a Facebook business page. I
Yeah.
also obviously have a personal page.
Yep.
But I haven't been posting a lot on my business page. Should I just get rid of that and just sync everything into my personal? You think?
That's a good question. I have the same, John. And probably somewhere along the way, someone told me I should. And so I did that for Facebook. And I think I did it for the same reason, is just for the Meta business suite for like tracking things. And if I did want to do any paid posts or boosts, it's easier on that business page.
Right.
I think it's
you're not your business,
in time.
right?
Yeah.
And on Facebook, you're not your business. So I think you can have an Instagram business page, right? Like you just click a button.
Yeah.
It makes messages a little bit different, right? But beyond that, but Facebook's a completely different animal, right? To access the business suite within that, like you have to have a business page.
Yeah.
And if someone's clicking around, like they're gonna know that like you have 5,000 friends on Facebook and you have 250 clients on Facebook, those are inherently different items. So, I mean, I think professionals that are looking to run any kind of Facebook ads that are branded to them as a business are going to have a separate page. Like I have a Facebook realtor page and it probably has 300 people following it, right? But it's just so that I can take for a local Zoom only networking group, I make a post on there and then the people in that networking group share that post. So it's just organic traffic that way. And then you can always link your personal page back to that. So like, hey guys, if you ever want to contact me about anything outside of the realm of real estate, or you want to learn more about me and what I'm doing day to day, it's all over here. So
yeah, that's great.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, we are at 3:02. We went a full 60 minutes. Guys, you can always follow up. You can always DM. Please follow me, Sam, so I can follow you back. John, I think we're connected. Nicole as well. I'd love to start following you. My next month is going to be ideas from you. So I'll probably DM you and reach out to you to see what you have for ideas. And I'm excited. We'll then be in October when hopefully we'll all get to meet up in San Diego. But again, I know we're all busy. I really appreciate and I'm grateful for your time sharing it with me today. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Take care,
Sounds
guys.
good. Thank
Have
you.
a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out.